Good morning, Autumn here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Australopithecus Afarensis, and I chose this species because I really like the way that the name sounded. So Australopithecus is Latin for southern ape, and then Afarensis means from afar. And afar was the tribe that was living in the area where the fossils were originally found. They were originally discovered in 1974 by Donald Johnson, and all of the testing states that these species lived between 3.85 and 2.95 million years ago, and they were found in the Eastern Africa area, so Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, that kind of climate. The most common of the Afarensis species is going to be Lucy, which is why the species has been nicknamed the Lucy species. We saw a few of her pictures in our textbook. She's probably going to be the most famous because they have so many pieces to put together a whole person. In the area, it was found more than 300 individuals, which definitely tells scientists that they lived in communities and groups. In Dikita, it would be the child skeleton. What they found as far as brain size is that the typical adult's brain was about 430 cc's, which really wasn't very big. The brain size for Dikita does indicate that human growth was evolving. So you can see that there are slowly changes. And I think it's pretty amazing that we're able to still do some CT scans on these old fossils to find out what they were, to kind of compare them to one another. In the mouth, the the baby's teeth were coming up in a progression that was very similar to chimpanzees. So it shows that they have a similar human growth rate for the way that they age. Also, there was the transition in the way that the teeth were set. So they were a lot smaller than ape's teeth. The premolars on both sides were pretty equal in size, and then the jaw was parabolic instead of parallel. What this tells scientists is that the Afarensis species would eat a very varied diet. So both plants, probably some nuts and seeds, also potential for meat. So this is when they were definitely transitioning from ape to human. However, they still had a lot of ape-like qualities, such as the fingers, which did not go straight but were still slightly curved. This tells scientists that there was still travel through the trees, so that they could grow up and move up in that higher area. Who knows what the climate exactly was like, but it definitely was something that they would be able to do. Also in the evolution, to bring them a little bit more human, would be their footprints. And we were very fortunate that Laetoli had a lot of volcanic activity back at that time that was able to save some footprints for scientists to come back and analyze. What they found is that the Afarensis species had rounded heels. They have double arches going from both the front to the back as well as left to right. And then the most important piece is that the toe, instead of being opposable, was now in line with the rest of the toes. All of this, in conjunction with the way that the pelvis is tilted, shows that this species was definitely bipedal. It was able to propel itself forward as walking as we do now. Not necessarily fully standing upright, but it definitely was not a knuckle dragger, and definitely also used the trees. So maybe they walked up in the trees as well as on the ground. So definitely some changes there. Also, where the species still has some ape-like human qualities is going to be in the vertebrae. They found the AL288-1 vertebrae was tested. It is definitely human. It has the Afarensis DNA in it, but this specific piece is a lot smaller than what you would normally find in a vertebrae, and it's very common to be found in the Galata baboons, which again just kind of brings everything back together, which was why Lucy has been considered the missing link. I definitely think that it's been very interesting with all the evolutions of science to see how much we've been able to learn in the last 20 years. And it'll definitely be interesting to see how our future technology and changes goes in the future. So in 50 years, who knows what we found 50 years ago is going to tell us. Definitely a lot, so stay tuned because we all look forward to learning some more. Thanks.